Hey guys, Alex Khan here, and I'm gonna bring to you another one and only Ivan vlog, but this time it's finally about the actual movie. Yes, I finally seen it on Disney Plus, and it took quite a while because I made two previous vlogs on this back in I think 2018, I believe. Fast forward to now, it is now August 2020, and the movie finally just came out. I think Disney's been sitting on this movie for quite a while. I believe it's supposed to come out last year, but I guess they kind of moved it more. But I know last year they put out was a Dumbo, which also features an elephant. So I guess they wanted to kind of space it out. Maybe I don't really know the actual reasoning why. But just know this movie that I believe had an intended theatrical release was finally just put out on their Disney's streaming site, Disney Plus. So what you get with this movie is a very high quality film with high quality actors, extremely well made CGI, and of course, if you had read the original book, a very amazing, heartwarming story. Now, before I talk about the movie itself, just want to say what my other videos was about. My other one and only vlogs were about. So my first vlog, I actually went to Lakeland, Florida, because if you don't know this, they filmed a lot of the exterior shots of the one and only Ivan in Lakeland, Florida. So I was there on the last day that the Disney crew was there, filming just some random car shots and some other shots. But yeah, when I was there, I saw a lot of these cars that were actually seen in the movie. Like if they're not used in the parking lot scenes, I also did see the blue faded rusty Mustang that Bryan Cranston's character Mac drives in the movie. I also saw the car that George drives. It's more of a truck actually, and I also saw the house that's supposed to be Mac's house in the movie. And I also, more importantly, I saw the facade for the Big Top Mall, in which this movie takes place in. Just want to let you know now that the Big Top Mall was actually filmed somewhere else for the interior shots. It was just the outside that they used in Lakeland, but the interior shots were filmed elsewhere. And of course, there is the Silver Moon Drive-In Theater, which I go there quite often, at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. So before this movie came out, I was always going to Lakeland, going to the Silver Moon Drive-In Theater just to watch movies. And during the pandemic, I found out that this drive-in was probably my safest way to watch movies on a big screen. I've always loved watching movies at the drive-in. It always brought me back to my childhood. And there's some other places too. But yeah, a lot of these outside shots filmed in Lakeland. So that was my first vlog. Now my second vlog, I actually read the one and only Ivan book, which this movie is based upon. The book, by the way, is also loosely based upon an actual gorilla named Ivan, who grew up in this in a human's household. But when the gorilla got too big, after the age of like 2 or 3, they go, "Hey, we can't keep this gorilla anymore." So the gorilla ended up in a shopping center out in Tacoma, Washington. And then when the public finally got wind of this, they protested, and eventually the real Ivan was sent to Atlanta Zoo, where he lived a much better life up until the end. So yeah, this movie is based upon that book. But in the book, they added a lot more characters, namely with like Mac, George, Julia, and all the critters that Ivan interacts with. And there's a lot of great characters in this movie. So I want to talk about the movie now. Sorry that the intro took like 4 minutes, but I just wanted to talk a lot about the one and only Ivan. It's been, this movie's taken so long to come out, and I just feel like I wanted to talk so much about this movie. So yeah, this movie came out on Friday. It's now Monday, so like 3 days after the movie came out on Disney Plus, I finally had the free time to watch it. And yeah, part of my thing here is I'm reviewing Disney movies that I haven't seen yet. So this is perfect. This is a Disney movie. I haven't seen it yet, and it's brand new, so a lot of you guys haven't seen it either. So let's talk about the comparisons with the book first. The book and the movie, for the most part, they are very, very, very similar in spirit. Like if you read the book, this whole movie makes perfect sense. It's very faithful. Now there is one big difference between the book and the movie, and the big difference is that the book is a lot darker than the movie. And honestly, I'm very happy that the movie took a slightly different approach to that, because it is a Disney movie, so a lot of kids are going to watch this. And for the fact that Bryan Cranston plays Mac, who in the book he's not very likable after a certain point, but in the movie he seems to be likable for most of the movie. He has human like flaws, especially being a human of that time period. You know, back in the day when humans were making these animals, live in not so great places. The place where Ivan lives is a lot better than where he lived in real life. In the real life, Ivan lived in this really crappy concrete room, which was totally a prison. But if you watch this movie, it's a lot more festive where he lives. There's a lot of places where he can look out. He can he can see the other animals. They definitely Disneyfied it, if that makes sense. They made it a lot more palatable to younger audiences. Because yeah, in the book, man, it is so much darker. Mac, who runs this little inside zoo inside this mall, man, he does some really bad things in the book. But yeah, in the movie, yeah, it's still not a good thing that he's making a living off of animals. But you can see where he's coming from. Like he's basically a creature of his time. Because yeah, back in the day, it was a lot more normal for this kind of animal imprisonment to be more normalized. I mean, it's still happening today, but today it's a lot more frowned upon. Because I lived it back in the day, and yeah, I did see stuff like that. Not particularly in a shopping mall, but anyways, this movie it's fantastic. Even though it takes a lighter approach to the way Mac treats his animals, this movie is utterly fantastic. I think both the movie and the book are both fantastic. I'm not going to say which one's better, but I am very pleased, because I'm a movie buff. I'm very pleased with the way this movie did turn out. I think Disney took the best approach with this movie. And man, oh man, the CGI in this movie is very good. Like, you can tell it's CGI, but you don't care that it's CGI because it's just so well made. And the whole story, it just flows. It flows so well. It's just like the book. With this movie, Disney was able to achieve its message that animals should be free, out in the wild. They did it without making Mac seem like a total person to absolutely hate and loathe. And yeah, I was prepared to hate him, but it's Bryan Cranston. How can you hate Bryan Cranston? So yeah, I'm glad Disney took this more Disneyfied approach with this movie. There were so many scenes where I was very moved to tears. Like, some of the scenes, they weren't really like sad. It's so like you just feel it. I guess it is kind of sad in that respect. Man, the voice acting in this movie was fantastic. Yeah, you have Sam Rockwell, Danny DeVito, Shaka Khan was one of the voices. Helen Mirren. Gosh, it was a star-studded cast, and you wouldn't know that if you just watched the movie. I mean, you might recognize Danny DeVito's voice, but some of the other voices, I had to look at the credits, and when I looked at the credits, I was like, whoa, that was not that person, because dang, that is a huge person to be in this movie. Well, the movie is, again, fantastic. It's a legitimate high-budget Disney movie. It just happened to have a more discreet release on Disney+. But yeah, this movie, it's a hidden gem. I mean, again, I'm pretty sure this movie was intended to have a theatrical release, but going right to Disney Plus, if you're not expecting this to be a really great movie, man, get ready to get blown away. But this movie is a hidden gem. I don't know if it's because I read the book. I don't know if it's because I went to the filming locations, but I was just so excited starting the movie and playing the movie and finishing the movie that, oh man, I was not disappointed at all with this movie. It was so good. It was just really, 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 really good. But yeah, it was really cool to see all these filming locations, like, because when you look at it, it's like, oh, I know where that place is. I know where that place is. Like, even the big top shopping mall, they changed that whole facade just for the movie, but you can still tell what it is by the big, that very big distinctive arch, which, by the way, you can see that arch in Edward Scissorhands. I think a lot of these movie people are coming here to use that facade because of that arch. It gives it this really retro feel. I love the message. It's like some of these animals like gorillas and elephants. They shouldn't really be performing for people. They should be back in the wild where they belong. Now, more recently, with the big cat thing, it's kind of a conundrum because if a big animal was raised in captivity, they no longer have that instinct to survive in the wild. So it's kind of a hard thing, if you can release an animal into the wild, so be it. So I'm gonna leave it at that because I almost gave you a spoiler, which I don't want to do. But really, I'm honestly, even if I told you at the end, I think some of you can already guess what happens in the end. But even knowing the end, it's all about the journey getting to the end is what makes this movie so amazing. It's just the whole all the character interactions, and the way they brought these animals to life. Oh, it was just so fantastic. I'm gonna highly recommend this movie. And as of now, it's going to be one of my favorite movies of 2020. I am very, very pleased with the one and only Ivan. And if you live in Florida, or if you ever just want to take a really big road trip, yeah, you can totally still see, these filming locations. Like, you can see the front of the mall, but the signs have changed because for the movie, they made their own custom signs for the center portion. You can still see where Mac's character lived. It's this little house not too far from the shopping center. And yeah, if you ever want to watch a drive-in theater, I highly recommend the Silver Moon Drive-In. It's just so retro feeling, and it really does bring me back to my childhood. And I've had some pretty good memories at the Silver Moon Drive-In, and I'm pleased to say that I still go there because I just love it so much.